Motocross has gone from a one-night stand to your girl being on the flow, and you just can't wait till it's over. That's a reference between Mav TV and Flow because it's a bigger issue. Lots of manufacturers are trying to sell dirt bikes, and if it's hard to watch the race, well, people, you know, they turn something else on. And I know it's hard for the sport of motocross to sell a 4-hour segment on NBC Sports or whatever, local TV, something. They'd rather show gymnastics or something else, right? Which is sad. That's why I think we need to have a little bit of innovation. Maybe keep it to 3 motos, 3 15-minute motos. Cut the coverage to 3 hours as opposed to 4 hours. It's easier to sell. It's more entertaining because you don't have guys that come out swinging after 15 minutes like Tomac that just sheer goes werewolf on everybody, and nobody can hang with him. I mean, this race was kind of an exception because Sexton was all over his ass, but you get my point. There'd be better racing if the races were shorter. I mean, shit, Kenny was second fastest qualifier, but he had real bad luck again. And then you could damn near, I bet Bitcoin after 15 minutes that he falls on his ass. You know, it's sad, right? But if we had 15 minutes, it'd be a little bit more entertaining. Again, I know everyone's like, hey, motocross is a man's sport, and let these guys do this. This isn't the Tour de France where these guys are out there for 6 hours, right? We want to grow, bring more people in. It's hard to do that with 4 hours plus the practice and even though it's a little bit more condensed than over in Europe where it's like a 3-day orchestra, 3-day circus, right? But I guess if we're talking about the 450s here, you know, Tomac has another wardrobe malfunction from 2018 was the last time where, you know, he had to stop and pull his pants together. But now, apparently now that he's got blue balls because of that Yamaha, he doesn't give a shit if people see his junk because he's the freaking man on that Star. It was, I don't know, maybe the people that make Alpine Star, can they just not fit how big of balls Tomac has? There's probably a reason why Alpine Star isn't sponsoring Barsha as far as gear, because his pants are so tight. I mean, I guess I would be backwards, you know. Anyway, we're sticking with the analogy there. But yes, we should just be happy with having the superstars that we have in motocross right now because they're not going to be here forever. Tomac's going to go supercross only. Webb's probably going to go supercross only. Marv, if his career is over with or not, he's probably going to be just supercross. You know, Kenny is up in the air. Sexton will probably race both series still, you know, depending upon if there's any better money somewhere else. But things are changing, right? And the new series of the Global Supercross might be able to fit the bill for riders to go, you know what, I don't really want to travel everywhere, but you have a price tag and I will do it for that amount. And motocross is not in a position where they've got an abundance of money to give the teams and the riders in order for them to stay. So my hypothesis is that motocross is going to turn into kind of like the Canadian motocross. It's going to be a sister series to something where you're going to have some satellite teams that end up winning championships. It's not going to be the supreme deal anymore. Kind of how MotoGP took over motocross at first, because we used to be the shit. There's a changing of the guard happening, and motocross is going to have to innovate and change something. And they might wait till the very last second because everyone else is leaving, which I don't think they should. I think they should start experimenting right now and see if something sticks, because that's what other series are doing. But I'm digressing. The 250 class, I really feel for Hunter, right? Because Hunter was all over Jet like an old married couple. And Jet ended up passing him and just barely beating him. You know, how do you like lead in the majority of the race and then losing it? And then you have the whole restart happening where he was out front, and the rule states if like really only one lap goes by, they have to go back to the same starting procedure. It kind of took the wind out of his sails. He ended up 5th, which is a bummer, right? Because he's so close to beating his brother, but he's just being the bridesmaid. And he's always been the bridesmaid to his brother, which is a giant bummer. I could eventually see those two being on separate teams so that he can get away from the shadow of his brother. Yes, they could still have a good relationship. However, you know, this is the Martin deal. You've got the two brothers. One is going to take precedent, and the other one is just kind of going to be back. Am I talking factory parts and blah, blah, blah? No. Okay. So all the keyboard warriors out there, please just, you know, hit me up. Let's go back and forth. If money becomes a deal and there's only certain available parts, who would you give it to? Just hypothetically. You'd give it to Jet. Because you know Jet's got a better track record and he's faster, right? At least statistically. So you'd give it to him. That's only if resources become an issue. If you have the resources, yeah, sweet, everybody gets something. But that's not entirely how the world works all the time. Certain scenarios might cause to be in a position like that where Hunter would decide, hey, I'm going to go somewhere else so that I am the guy that is in that position to be like, you're the domestique, you know, I'm the front runner. And I do have to say that I am incredibly pumped for Davey Coombs and the race director for red flagging the race. Welch was in a spot where it was incredibly fast and he needed medical attention. We don't need another failed fiasco where they fail to restart or just red flag the race to get proper medical attention to people. You know, they took the time in order to give them. And that might be one of the cool things about being on Flow, is you can take the time to do that. If you're live on NBC Sport, you only have a certain window, so you have to make decisions quickly, right? And sometimes that doesn't always pertain to rider safety. So for that, I do commend them for doing that. But let me know in the comments below if you saw something that was noteworthy. And until next time, this is Johnny F. Hopper. I've got some more content planned this week, so make sure you like, subscribe, you know, hit that notification bell icon, drop it with me. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're running into hump day like,